In 2020, many critics of Donald Trump rallied behind Joe Biden, hoping to restore order and fix what they believed Trump had damaged. Do you remember those celebrations? Streets filled with cheering crowds. But fast forward 4 years, and frustration set in. Many Americans regretted their choice, feeling the man they trusted to rebuild the nation had worsened its state. While that chapter is now behind them, a similar scenario is unfolding in Seoul. Only this time, it's even more alarming. Yoon Suk-yeol, once hailed as South Korea's savior, was tasked with two critical missions: healing social divides and enacting institutional reforms to prevent corruption. Additionally, he was expected to maintain a strong anti China stance. Now, he faces accusations of hypocrisy, and by all honesty, South Koreans may be feeling the same regret that Americans once did. South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol is impeached and finally arrested. Yoon faced approximately 10 hours of questioning by the country's anti-corruption agency following his detention earlier in the day at his presidential residence. The arrest followed an early morning standoff at his official residence in Seoul. Yoon Suk-yeol's arrest marks a historic moment, the first time a sitting South Korean president has been taken into custody. However, bringing him to justice was far from straightforward. On December 3, just an hour before midnight, President Yoon declared martial law, a drastic step not seen since South Korea's transition to democracy in 1987. He claimed it was necessary to counter anti state forces sympathetic to North Korea. Yet the true motive appeared to be his own political survival amid mounting scandals and dwindling approval ratings. Since taking office in May 2022, Yoon faced relentless opposition. His presidency reached a breaking point in 2024 when the Democratic Party secured a landslide victory, reducing him to vetoing their bills, a tactic used with unprecedented frequency. However, the tensions escalated as the opposition DP slashed Yoon's proposed budget and initiated moves to impeach cabinet members over their failures to investigate First Lady Kim Hyun Hee, who was entangled in a massive scandal. Under immense pressure, Yoon imposed martial law, reportedly on the advice of senior aides. When authorities attempted to arrest him, violent clashes erupted between the police and his supporters. The world saw democracy turn into an anarchist state. Now, Yoon is in custody of police, away from the capital. The forces are on alert as a mass protest may erupt soon. Yoon Suk-yeol's suspension leaves South Korea hanging by a thread. The Constitutional Court must decide his fate within the 6 months of impeachment vote, with analysts predicting a verdict by February. If removed, South Korea will elect a new leader within 60 days. Lee Jae-myung, head of the Democratic Party, is the favorite in opinion polls. But believing the DP to be saints is foolish. Political chaos, worsened by Yoon's martial law stunt, creates an opening for China to expand its influence. A DP government would align closer with Beijing and Pyongyang, antagonizing Washington, just like Moon Jae-in's cozy ties with Xi Jinping. Yoon, addressing his supporters outside his residence, vowed to fight until the end to protect South Korea's democracy. Yet the blame lies squarely with him. His recklessness enabled China's wet dream of expanding its grip. 3 years ago, Yoon Suk-yeol stepped in to fix the chaos left by Moon Jae-in, a former prosecutor famed for targeting corruption. Yoon promised change, but fell woefully short. His vow to abolish the Ministry of Gender Equality alienated women voters, a divide he never tried to mend. Rising food prices, a faltering economy, and his administration's bungled response to the Itaewon Halloween crowd crush, which claimed over 150 lives, fueled public outrage. Nationwide protests erupted as he blocked probes into his wife, Kim Kyun-hee, accused of stock manipulation and plagiarism. When caught accepting a Dyer handbag worth $2,000, Yoon dismissed it as politeness, further angering citizens. Yoon's unwavering US alliance and a hardline stance on North Korea weren't enough to salvage his credibility. His efforts to mend ties with Japan, South Korea's former colonial oppressor, only deepened domestic discontent. Meanwhile, his failures to address China's growing influence left South Korea very vulnerable. Yoon's tenure has turned South Korea into a mockery, and he deserves full accountability for the mess he created. Now in jail, awaiting for his prosecution, Yoon must ask himself what he got out of South Korea's misery.